In today's video, I'm going to review one of my favourite vegan plant-based YouTubers, High Carb Hannah. Roll the titles.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. As always, just a quick reminder that I'm now offering the SIBO organic acid stool test and consult via my website. So if you have any health or digestive problems, then consider taking these tests, as they will provide a lot of very detailed information upon which you can start making informed decisions and then start getting your health back on track. And on that bombshell, to the video. So before I jump into Hannah's day of eating, I really just want to start this video by giving my take on why I like Hannah's approach so much. So there is so much guff on the internet in terms of fad diets, restricted diets, water fasting, juice cleanses and everything in between. So it's always refreshing to know that there are still people out there like Hannah who simply advocate a well-balanced whole foods plant-based diet approach. And on that second bombshell, don't let me down, Hannah. To the video.
Alright, so for breakfast, I'm gonna make what I typically make pretty much every single morning, and that's just like this veggie mix with potatoes added in, and then I'll show you like how I season it and stuff.
Okay, so many of you will be screaming at the screen now saying, where is the toast, where is the fruit bowl, or where are the oats? And all of those are great breakfast ideas. But so is what Hannah is doing, is just conditioning and social norms that would lead some of us into looking at a bowl of potatoes and veggies for breakfast and say that is just weird. But I'm keen to hear what your opinions are though, so let me know in the comments below.
Alright, so here I have some veggies that I'm gonna use. I have half an onion. I'm not gonna use all this bell pepper. I'll probably use a little bit of each. I'm gonna use this entire zucchini and then both of these potatoes. And then I'm just gonna chop up probably the rest of these mushrooms. And I'm just going to toss all of this into a bowl.
Yes, lots of bright, colourful ingredients, some starches for slow release energy. In the potatoes, peppers and mushrooms, there is good amounts of vitamins and minerals and also protein. And we will total this up in a minute so you can see how something this simple will give you a good start to the day. Another quick little trick for you all, if you leave mushrooms outside in direct sunlight for an hour or so, then they will start to produce a reasonable amount of vitamin D2. As you can see in this chart, just 30 to 60 minutes in the summer sun, and depending on the mushroom in question, you can hit your RDAs. There have been a couple of smaller clinical trials in this area, where half the adults took a vitamin D supplement and half took mushrooms exposed to sunlight, and interestingly, the vitamin D levels were comparable between the two groups. Now this is not a substitute for not going in the sun, but it's just another useful strategy for keeping your vitamin D levels topped up. And obviously in the winter, you would need to leave the mushrooms in the sun for significantly longer.
Alright, so now that I have all my veggies in here, what I like to do is I just add a little bit of tamari. And this just helps get the seasoning to kind of stick to it. And then I add a little bit of garlic powder. And I really like to add a little bit of nutritional yeast onto here as well. And then I basically just take like a plate or something and toss this.
Big fan of nutritional yeast in this context along with the tamari, so yes, it's all coming along nicely.
And that just helps everything get nice and evenly coated. And then I just add in my chopped potatoes. Sometimes I'll do a little bit more nutritional yeast. And then I just kind of toss it one more time.
See, just seeing those potatoes going in there always makes me think how bad keto and other diets are that seek to eliminate carbs. Can you actually imagine never eating potatoes again?
Alright, so now all I'm gonna do is put this in my air fryer for 20 minutes on 400 degrees, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Alright, so here is what my breakfast looks like. I just like to get it a little bit browned, but I don't let it cook for too long just because I don't like it to be super dehydrated. And then I always like to add a little bit of this Siete hot sauce on here. It does have a tiny bit of oil in it, but this stuff is so good. If you've ever tried it, it's like I put this stuff on just about everything.
Now that's my type of meal there, simple, tasty, nutritious, and with a nice kick with the hot sauce. So let's delve into the numbers behind the meal. In terms of calories, Hannah is around 505. She has already hit around 18.5 grams of fiber, which is ace for her gut health. And in terms of protein, that is stacking up nicely for all of those essential amino acids. And just very quickly look at all of the vitamins and minerals that she has hit or is close to hitting with that one meal alone. Maybe a little healthy fat in there as a slight improvement, but for me, a great start to the day.
Alright, so for lunch today, I actually have a bunch of stuff that I just need to get rid of. So I'm gonna have cucumber sushi because I have like half a cucumber and a quarter of an avocado and a big bag of broccoli that I need to finish up. So I'm gonna make cucumber avocado sushi roll, and then I'm gonna steam up the rest of the broccoli that I have. And it's not very exciting, but a lot of times like my food is just planned around what do I have left in the house, like what needs to be used up before I can like make something new.
No, I love that. Often YouTubers will portray meals that are wholly unrealistic, so it's good to see someone who is real in these types of situations. Hannah doesn't have too much kicking around, but she can still rustle up something that is quick, simple and tasty. Now clearly Hannah's video is based around weight loss meal ideas, so in this situation if your goal isn't weight loss, then you would just increase the calories, fats or carbs, etc. You can't beat sushi, and it's great to see some healthy fats in the form of avocados. But I still stand by my ongoing points that avocado on toast that so many vegan YouTubers delve into is like eating flip-flops. Am I right, or am I right, people? Again, if your goal is weight loss, then this is a great meal idea, and it's also good to see an iodine source in that day of eating. Although 1 to 2 sheets of nori sheets will probably only provide you with 15 to 30% of your iodine RDA. So if you don't eat sea vegetables in your diet, or you don't use salt with iodine in it, then you simply have to supplement. I will bang this drum always until people realise that iodine should be right up there alongside B12 when planning out a healthy vegan diet.
Alright, so I wanted to show you guys my favorite little snack. I usually have this as a dessert after dinner, but I basically just chop up a bunch of different berries. I call this like fruit cereal. So I have some blackberries, I have leftover strawberries in there as well, blueberries, and then strawberries, and then I just put a little bit of soy milk in there and put some granola on top, and it is so good. It's like my favorite thing, and it's a very filling. If you have like any type of sweet tooth, like this is so good.
Again, it's great how simple everything is. I love nothing more than after an enjoyable meal than to have a nice fruit bowl to cleanse the palate. And with these meals that Hannah is making, it's just constantly layering up the nutrition, vitamins, minerals, fibre and also phytonutrients. Very good, so let's see the total numbers for lunch and see how Hannah is tracking for the day. So in terms of calories, Hannah is probably at around 1450 to 1550 calories. In terms of protein, she's already there for hitting all of her protein requirements, although I would always strive for 120% of these numbers due to fibre and protein digestibility from plants. And in terms of vitamins and minerals, Hannah is still adding to all of those nutrients, with really only vitamin E, calcium and iron that she is not currently hit. So let's see what she has for dinner.
Okay, so for dinner tonight, I'm actually gonna make some tofu ricotta lasagna, and I don't think I've ever made this on my channel before, so here is what we need.
Never tried tofu ricotta lasagna before, so it will be interesting to see how this is made and what goes into it.
What I have here is half of a red onion, and then I just have 4 garlic cloves, and we're gonna blend all this stuff so you don't need to like chop everything up really finely or anything. And then I also like to just add a zucchini into here to make it more filling, so I'm just gonna add this in here. And again, it doesn't need to be like super chopped up. I just wash this.
Do you see how simple and easy these recipes are? And I always get trolled for saying that in these types of videos. Some people will usually say, oh, I haven't got the time to sit and cook like that, I'm way too busy. Let's just assume the total time for Hannah to cook these meals is 1 to 1.5 hours throughout the day. 1 hour is about 4% of your day, so can anyone really say they don't have 4 to 6% of their day to invest in their health in this fashion? And obviously you can always batch cook at the weekend if you are super pushed for time with the kids during the week.
Alright, then we need a block of extra firm tofu. I just press this for a few hours in my Tofu Express just to get as much water out of it as we can.
Again, another good ingredient choice. Tofu has decent amounts of protein, manganese, calcium, selenium and also phosphorus, and reasonable amounts of copper, magnesium, iron and also zinc.
So now I'm just gonna add in about a teaspoon of salt, probably about a tablespoon of garlic powder, and then I'm gonna add in a 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast.
No issue there, and a lot of people push me on salt, and no doubt some will comment on Hannah's use of salt there. I'm certainly not a salt phobe at all. I personally don't like adding salt to my food though, because I really just don't like the taste of it too much, but salt in smaller amounts will very rarely ever be a problem. With all of the issues in the world with food in terms of pesticides, herbicides, additives or preservatives, then I certainly wouldn't be sweating about salt. So if you need to add a bit to your food to perk it up a bit based on your taste, then add away.
So I'm just gonna blend this up really quick, and then we're gonna add a bunch of spinach into here. All right, so I just blended this up a bit. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna add in a bunch of spinach. So I usually add about 3 cups of spinach into here, and I just do this because nutrients, you know? So if you don't like spinach, you can totally leave this part out.
Spinach. Spinach is obviously very high in oxalates, and eaten infrequently throughout the week then no problem at all. And if you have digestive issues or you have kidney stone issues in your family, then to be fair, I would suggest avoiding spinach and concentrating on another leafy green.
All right, so our spinach tofu ricotta is done, and this is basically what it should look like. It doesn't look very delicious, but you'll just want to taste it and see if it like needs any more salt or any more seasoning. And then to assemble this, I just got this oven ready lasagna noodles from Walmart, so I'm just gonna use these.
Again, just a quick look at the oven ready lasagna sheets and no signs of any nasty ingredients. It's just wheat, niacin, iron, thiamine mononitrate, which is a salt, riboflavin and folic acid, so no issues with any of that.
And then whenever I don't make my own marinara, this is my favorite marinara to use. It's really thick, it's not like watery or anything like that, and it has really good flavor. It's oil-free, it's just tomatoes, vegetables, salt, and basil, and it's, yeah, fat-free, 25 calories per half cup. So whenever I make pizza or pasta and I'm just way too lazy to make my own marinara, I just use this.
Again, yes, great, no hidden nasties or added processed refined sugars.
So assembling this is super simple. All we're gonna do is just take our noodles, which they usually don't fit in these pans, so I like to break them in half and then lay them over themselves like that. And any like extra noodles that come like that, just throw it back in here and you'll just have extra noodle. So in every layer of noodle, we're gonna add in some of our ricotta. And the key with these no-bake noodles is that you don't really have to worry about the ricotta stuff, but you wanna make sure that you get sauce on each layer, because the sauce is what is actually gonna cook the noodles.
I think that even the most troubled cook will be able to put this together.
All right, so now that this is done, we want to let this sit for about 30 minutes, but I like to add a little bit of the Kelly's Croutons Parm on here. And you could add this on and then take the foil off and bake it again. But I just like to add it on there to make it pretty. But I'm gonna let this sit for about half an hour and then we will eat.
Again, I would quite happily eat that, and I think it would go with some nice crusty garlic bread or something like that.
So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and just got maybe some neat little tips on how to, you know, eat healthier or make really simple meals. I like to just eat very simple. It is really like the key to everything. And eating the 50-50 plate is also something that I just try to do at every single meal, because it's truly the way for me to like maintain my weight and not have to worry about calories or if I'm eating too much or anything like that. So I highly recommend you guys eat as many vegetables as you can and as many fruits as you can, and just find any way to enjoy your food and keep it very simple.
Amen to that. How many people with this attitude have you seen fail a vegan diet? And on that note, let's see how that total day of eating stacked up nutritionally. So calories, I imagine, were around 18 to 1900, so all good. And as you would expect with the name High Carb Hannah, a decent amount of carbs and also fibre. If there was one suggestion of the day of eating that I could give, then it would be to bring up the fat levels slightly. So fats are super important for most bodily functions, including being the backbone of hormones. So while eating too much fat can be detrimental in the body, so can eating not enough. Proteins are all good, and most are above the 120% for the essential amino acids. And finally, in terms of vitamins and minerals across the board, all are very good apart from vitamin E, which is just slightly on the low side. But a slight increase in fats, as I mentioned earlier, would fix this and the omega-6 levels very quickly. So something like a small handful of walnuts and you are done for the day. Anyhow, that's the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and as always, remember to look after your body because it's the only place you have to live. And I'll see you next time.